Ever wondered how you can share a Google form with your team and let the manager know when a bad review comes in? With Zapier, it's totally possible. Let's dive in. The purpose of this flow is to analyze the employee performance and notify the manager whenever a bad review comes in. As you can see, the flow starts with first getting the response from the Google form, then filtering and finding out whether this response has the bad review, and if it is, then we will look up the manager's name and the manager's email. We will then use the AI to summarize the performance review from the Google form response, and then we will send the email to the relevant manager. To do this, you would first need to have the Zapier, and it's a free platform, so just sign up. Then you also need to have the employee form ready. For this one, I define a couple of fields. First is the project name, then the employee list, it's a simple drop down, and the free metrics. So it can be the quality of work, can be productivity, and the collaboration on a scale from 1 to 5, from really bad to excellent. And also I leave its additional comments as well that can also be analyzed by AI and sent back to the manager. So to start, we would need to create our first workflow. To do that, we need to go to Zaps section and create our first new Zap. Then we need to define our trigger, and in this case it would be the Google form, right? Response. So we select Google Forms, we select trigger event, which will be the new form response, and we need to sign up to our account. So please do that, then click configure and select the relevant form, right? The correct Google form. In this case, it will be employee review form. As I said before, you would need to have it ready and for this task. So please create your Google form first, and then you can also test it. So you can run some tests and see how your response look like and the variables that we will further use in the workflow. So as you can see, everything pulls up correctly, so we can move on with this record. The next action would be to actually filter, because we would like to only notify managers whenever the bad review comes in, right? For example, if the review is great, we don't need to bother our managers. We only need to flag those employees that have some problems. For this one, we need to filter the responses with bad scores, right? And we have 3 areas, as I said before: quality of work, productivity, and collaboration. And if any of these areas is below average, below 3, we need to flag this and notify manager. So for that, we need to define 3 conditions for each area. So the first one would be quality of work. And if it's less than 3, then we need to notify, right? Or the productivity can be also less than 3. Once we define the conditions, the next step would be to look up the manager. And for this one, I created the table in the Google Sheets spreadsheet. So it's very simple. We have the employee name that has the same name as in a Google form, and that's how we will look up this table. And we have the manager name as well, and the manager's email to send the summary back. So we will select the Google Sheets, and the action event would be find a specific spreadsheet row based on the value. Then click configure. You need to select Google Drive. You need to select your spreadsheet name, which will be employees in my case, as I name it like that. You would need to select your sheet name, which is sheet 1. And the lookup column should be the employee, right? Where the lookup value would be our response variable, employee from the Google form. So that's all we need to define here, and we can click continue. We can test, and as you can see, it pulls up correctly. So it looks up the manager name for the call whale. As you can see, the call whale here was selected, and the Diana is the manager of this individual. So it's correctly, and we have also the email for Diana to send back the summary. The next step would be to define our AI. So we click select AI components, we click summarize, and here we would need to define a couple of variables in the input, right? So the first one would be the project name, which we will use from the response. Then we need to define the employee. So once we define the input variables, we will also need to define the prompt. So in this case, as you can see, it's very long, and I have actually defined my own template, which I will share with you guys in the chat. So I will replace the default one with my own. Then what I can need to do is select the model. So Zapier provides you access to the OpenAI models for free, so please do that. And if you want, you can always connect your new account, your OpenAI, and use your own API if you want. So then we can click Generate Preview to see how it works. We expect that the quality of work and productivity should be highlighted. And by the way, as you can see here, I forgot to remove the output fields, which I don't need in this case, but you always can define the way how you want to structure your output, or you want to extract some areas if you want. In this case, I'm simplifying. So as you can see, we have generated the email summary for the call wall under the project 123, and it highlights the areas to improve the quality of work and productivity. So it works perfectly. And the last step would be to send the email right to the manager. So we will select the Gmail. We will choose the send email action. Again, please sign up the first time to your Gmail account. Then for this reason, you may select the manager's email from the lookup row, right? You can see here, we can select the Diana example email.com, but because I'm testing this flow, I will put my own email for the testing purposes. Then from I will select myself, and in the subject I will say the employee performance review, and I will refer to the dynamic variable from the response, which will be the employee. And the body would be the dear, the manager name, which we have from the lookup. It will be Diana, comma, and then we need to insert the body from the AI output, right, which will be the output. And then we can finish this off as like best Artyom, for example. So that's pretty much it. We can click continue, and we can click test. Now, as you can see, the email has been successfully sent with all the summary of the individual performance. If you have any ideas about the videos, please let me know. Otherwise, thanks for watching and goodbye.